Well, China has responded to the US by imposing additional tariffs of 50% on imports, making a total of 84%. This follows the US decision to put rates of 104% on China on Wednesday. And China, the world's second largest economy, is calling President Donald Trump's move reckless. The US administration pushed ahead with introducing a second round of global tariffs on Wednesday, despite worldwide concern. Well, for the very latest, we're joined now by Katrina Yu, who's in Beijing with reaction to the markets in China. Katrina, these extra tariffs that China has just imposed, that's obviously a bold move. Have we now moved into a full-blown trade war between the world's two largest economies?
I think we've already been in a full-blown trade war, and China has said that it's going to fight on till the end. And just hours after Trump's so-called Liberation Day tariffs came into effect, that 104% tariff on Chinese goods, China announced its countermeasures, and that includes an additional 50% tariff on top of on US goods coming into China. So that matches the latest US levy, bringing the total to 84% tariff on all US goods coming into China. It's also added 6 firms to an unreliable entity list and 12 firms to an export control list, meaning Chinese companies cannot do business with them. And it's also accelerated its lawsuit at the WTO against the US. Now, China says these new tariffs, this 84%, will come into effect midday on Thursday. Local time, that would be midnight on Wednesday. So there is a few hours waiting to see how the Trump administration will respond here. But certainly, yes, it is a bold move. And I was speaking to some analysts about this. One in particular said that, look, after 34% additional tariffs on Chinese goods, it really doesn't matter because the profit margin for Chinese manufacturers selling things to the US is so narrow that after 34%, there's essentially no trade. So after this, if it's 50%, if it's 5,000%, it really doesn't matter. China almost has nothing to lose.
Right. China has also been saying that it's refusing to be bullied over all of this, but the language that it had been using had left some sort of space for negotiations to continue. But is that now completely gone? Is that off the table now?
I don't think so. I think it's a yes, and I think that China is reminding the US that there is an off-ramp here. We still want to talk, but we won't be bullied. We won't stand on the sidelines. At 3 p.m. this afternoon, you're right, China released a white paper that was quite conciliatory in tone, emphasizing the importance of the US-China relationship, saying that this is a win-win trade relationship and that we want to come back to dialogue here. But at the same time, China has also been saying consistently at Foreign Ministry, at the Commerce Ministry, that this is bullying. China will fight back. It's going to defend its national interests. So perhaps unlike the Trump administration, Beijing has been remarkably consistent with this message that shouldn't really come as a surprise that China is hitting back. And it's now gone 4 rounds with the United States. I think the signal is really clear. Whatever the United States does here, we've had China match it. So if the United States does respond, I think China again will match its response.
OK, thank you so much, Katrina, as always. Katrina Yu for us in Beijing.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.